Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we're going to get a little extra practice with our exponents and powers to powers and things like that. Remember that when we have a non-zero number raised to the power of 0, it's going to be the same as 1. Remember that when we have a negative exponent, we're going to use the stairs, and then the exponent will change sign. Okay? Um, we're going to do some pretty complex ones. They're actually really easy. There's a lot of steps to them. But let's get started. I'm going to show you how I do this. Okay, I'm going to look in here, and I'm not going to do anything with this -2 yet. Okay, I'm going to worry about that later. I'm going to go ahead and first of all see if I can simplify this, and it sure looks like I can. Looks like the 25 can be divided by 5, and so can the 15. So in my new fraction, I'm going to have, for right now anyway, in the numerator I'm going to have a 5, and I'm going to have a 3 in the denominator. Now this x to the 6th over x to the 5th, well, x to the 6th over x to the 5th. There's a couple ways to think about it. I see this in my head over, and then all those cancel, right, leaving just an x. That's one good way to think about it. Another good way to think about it is x to the power of 6 minus 5, which is x to the 1st, or just plain old x. Now, since that x to the 1st is positive, it's going to end up being in the numerator. Okay? If it had been negative, I would take it downstairs and change the sign. When I do it this way, I see that it's clearly in the numerator. That's probably why I like that so much. Okay, now on this one here, I know that this guy is going to go upstairs. So my numerator there, I'm going to have a y squared times a y squared, which is going to be a y to the 4th power. Okay? Now for this one, I know that this guy is going to go downstairs, but this guy is going to the numerator upstairs. And so what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a z to the 10th over a z to the 4th. And again, I can think about this one similar to that one, or I can think about it this way. And I'll tell you what, I'll just go that way. I'll go z to the 10 minus 4, which is z to the 6th, and it's positive, so it's in the numerator. Now, I know there's a lot going on there, but it really is not that difficult. Okay, now, I got to deal with this -2. Well, first of all, I'm going to deal with a negative, and that's going to flip the fraction. My fraction is going to be 3 over 5x y to the 4th, z to the 6th, and that's squared, and now I'm going to square everything. So 3 squared is 9, 5 squared is 25. X squared is x squared. Y to the 4th squared, y to the 4th times y to the 4th, that's y to the 8th. And then z to the 6th squared will be z to the 12th. And there you go. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at number 2. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, simplify here as much as I can. Right off the bat, I see that I can divide by 10. So I've got 12 over 20. Then I know 4 goes into this 3 times, and it goes into that one 5 times. And so, in my fraction, my numerator will have a 3, and my denominator will have a 5. Just a coincidence that it came out to be the same. This guy here is going downstairs. So I'm going to have an x to the 12th times an x to the 8th, which is an x to the 20th. Here, I'm going to have a y to the 20 minus 8th power, which is a y to the 12th. This guy is going down, and so I have a z to the 16 times a z cubed, so it'll be a z to the 19th in my denominator. That's all being raised to the -1st, which simply means I'll need the reciprocal of what's inside the quantity. So my final answer will be 5x to the 20th, z to the 19th, and that'll be over 3y to the 12th. And there you go. All right, we'll do one more example, and then that'll be the video for today. All right, again, first thing I'm going to do is simplify, and I think that's going to go in an even number of times. I'm thinking 3. 45 and 45 is 90. 90 and 45 is 135. So 45 goes in there once, goes in there 3 times. This guy's going upstairs. Hopefully you can tell me you're going to get an x to the 16th. So I have a 3x to the 16th. These guys are going to switch places, right? And so my numerator will be y to the 16th over y to the 12th, which is the same as y to the 4th in the numerator. Z to the 8 over z to the 8 is the same as z to the 0, or you can just say they cancel out. So there is no denominator in this problem right now. But this negative here means I need the reciprocal. So I'm going to need 1 over 3 times x to the 16th, y to the 4th. And I'm going to raise that to the second power. 1 squared is 1. 3 squared is 9. X to the 16th squared is x to the 32nd. And then y to the 4th squared is y to the 8th. And that's it. All right, we'll get some more practice with this in class today, and then we'll be ready for our quest in a couple of days. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.